you want. We can use humor as Aikido. See, Aikido is a martial arts. The philosophy behind Aikido is instead of attacking back when you're attacked, what you do is you use the energy and the force that's thrust upon you and you blend with it. All right, so somebody attacks you, you take that arm and go, woo. So if I was to scream at you, your first inclination may be to scream back, right? But instead of screaming back, you blend with the energy. So somebody says to you, who's the idiot in charge here? Yeah, I'm head idiot. What can I do for you? Right? Did you make that mistake? I didn't do it, and I'll never do it again. Do you suffer from insanity? No, I'm starting to enjoy it more now. Suffering is way down. All right, so it's being playful instead of getting upset with people. You know, so sometimes we get so reactive. We can just count to 3 and then come up with a clever saying. I remember growing up, my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, we were sitting around our dinner table, and in the middle of dinner, my brother lets out gas. My dad turned to my brother, he says, did you pass gas in front of your mother? And my brother, without missing a beat, says, I didn't know it was her turn. My dad tried to get angry, broke out in laughter. Then every Tuesday became Farfanuga night at the Friedman's house. No, I'm just kidding. All right? But it's having that comeback, being a little playful, using humor as Aikido. When I was young, my brother and I used to play we used to play what we call sock football in our hallway. And what we would do is we would wait by the dryer downstairs for the unmatched sock to come through. You know that sock? And then we would take that sock, we would roll it up in a little ball, we would put 2 rubber bands around that sock. To us, it was just like a regulation-size NFL football. And on any given night, we could represent all the football teams right there in our hallway. And my dad used to get upset with us because we would tear up the carpet with our cleats on our shoes. The cheerleaders would hog the bathroom. To us, our imaginations were just running wild. But one night we were in the middle of playing football in the hall, and my dad says, okay, boys, that's it. Stop playing. Dad, we can't stop playing. It's the middle of the 3rd quarter. The score's tied 14-14. Get real, would you? He says, I'll get real. And he grounds us for the night, sends us to our rooms. Middle of the night, my brother wakes up, writes a note, and pins it to my dad's door. Be good to your sons, and your sons will be good to you. Yours truly, God. Next night, there's a note pinned to my brother's door, and the note reads, be good to your parents, and maybe your parents will let you live in the house. Yours truly, God's Father. So it's just the willingness when things happen in our lives. If we can turn on the GPS, if we can respond with humor, if we can look for a fun, humorous response, then we're not so quick to get reactive. We remind ourselves that it's okay to turn on the old GPS. You know, an unexpected, positive, funny response sometimes can absorb the anger and redirect it without putting the other person down. It's a great technique to use. Right? Self-effacement. Okay, if you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear my voice, clap twice. If you can hear my voice, please stop talking. Okay, all right, so let's, we have covered the G of the GPS. We're in the middle of the P of the play. Talked about the power of humor. Who can tell me the highest form of humor? Sarcasm? That's the highest form? The lowest form, there you go. Yeah, being able to laugh at yourself. is the highest form of humor. All right. What was that? Okay. First thing you need to ask yourself, if you're going to subscribe to the celebration mentality, truly turn on your GPS, then you need to ask yourself, have you decided you want it to be fun? And what are you doing to make it more fun? Have any of you ever worked in a company where you think they just didn't want it to be fun and it wasn't fun? Yeah? Where that, there's some managers and bosses that have the attitude that if it's fun, you're goofing off. If you're having a good time, you're not getting the work done, right? Right? But studies in the last 20 years show just the opposite, that you can have a good time and be very productive at the same time. So the first question is just, have you decided you want it to be fun? It's to get the organization to buy into the concept of celebration, of recognizing your employees, of celebrating success. Then question number 2, what are you doing to make it more fun? And the goal here is to create a system to keep the spirit alive and ongoing. Fun must be part of the system. You send the message that I care, you matter to me. Right? And the first half an hour at work, even the first 5 minutes are the most important because that sets the tone for the rest of the day. So even if you just greet people with a, hello, how are you today? Just be a little bit more emotional or outgoing in the morning because, again, life is a mirror. If you're real friendly and you smile at people, what do you get back? You get back smiles and love and anything you put out. So take responsibility for the first few minutes of every day. Right? Hey, everybody has a handout in front of them, and feel free to follow along on the handout. And you'll notice that I don't cover everything in the handout. Like, as you see right here on page number 4, at the bottom, I've listed some statistics at times that I'm not going to bother with, but just to add some credibility to the program, like you see on the bottom where it says, through play, employees are capable of expressing their unique capabilities, which enhances job satisfaction, bonding, and motivation. That was a study done by Root and Minley way back in 1991, so 20 years ago. And then right under that, play unleashes a creative potential that will materialize in innovative products, organizational learning, and ultimately superior business performance. So the case for play in the workplace is a strong one. It really does do good things for your bottom line. So if you have a manager or a supervisor or a boss that doesn't believe in it, do a little Google search on the power of play or the value of play in the workplace, and you'll come up with all kinds of things. And feel free to start with those 2 little studies right there. All right, so the 1-minute humor break. This was the first book I wrote was called Using Humor for a Change. 101 tools and techniques to lighten up the workload. And it's based on the 1-minute humor break. See, if you look at what humor is pain, embarrassment, or stress distanced by time. If you look at what caused you stress 6 months ago or a year ago, 2 years ago, aren't those hopefully the things that we laugh at today? Because once we distance ourselves with time, once we go through that embarrassing moment, then we hopefully learn to laugh at that stuff. But why can't we learn to laugh at the situations as we're going through them? And that's the true power of the GPS, is to appreciate the moments in life, to not have to wait for 2 or 3 years to laugh. And it takes a little bit of training to get to this point. But some of my very favorite 1-minute humor breaks are included in the program for your enjoyment today. First one is profanity with a twist. All right, how many of you now use profanity when you get upset? You didn't even know it was a strategy. All right, come on, be proud, put them up. All right, how many are sitting next to someone whose hand should be up? All right, now you're not sitting next to, you're not supposed to know the person, so you wouldn't know that, right? All right, This is profanity with a twist. Here's how it works. You write down all of your favorite swear words on a piece of paper. Some of you may need the back. Then you give each swear word a number, 1 through 30, 31 through 60. The next time something upsets you, instead of screaming out the swear word, you just scream out the number. 3, 13, 7, 2, 14, your mother, 9, shove a 2x4 up your 8. I got your 13 right here, I got your 13. You immediately relieve the stress, then people around you start to wonder what those numbers mean. Don't get near Muhammad. You know how he is when he screams 7. Trust me, just stay away. It's better to stay away, stay away. All right? Because, especially in the workplace, swearing is really not appropriate, is it? I mean, it's not respectful. But if we can poke fun at it, if we can just pretend like we're swearing, but we're not really swearing, we're just associating numbers or just screaming out whatever the numbers are, it's a fun way to remind us that we have more control over our emotions. If we can poke fun at the things that cause us stress.